What's up, boys? ZenAku here. What I do in this video is I'll show you my the setup that I use for when I play Quake, and also like when I'm streaming as well. I just thought it might be interesting to kind of see, like, to get the perspective of yeah, kind of like what my setup is like. I think it's kind of always interesting to see how people have their different equipment. So anyway, this is the video. I guess I'll take you guys through it. So the setup is like this. Like this, we've got obviously my main PC, which is in front of me, and my streaming PC, which is on the left. And I've been lucky enough that Garpy allows me to use his PC as my main one, and the one on the left here, the one on the left is my streaming PC, which is my old PC. It's a bit overkill, but I'll slowly go through it. So on Garpy's PC, on Garpy's PC, we have a 3090 by NVIDIA, a 10900K by Intel, and I believe it's called, well, the RAM is called Ballistics Max, 32 gig at 4000 Hertz, and I think the CL timing is actually 18. I know in Quake Champions, I think actually having a lower CL timing is actually potentially a bit better, but that's the ones I've got on this PC. So on my PC, I've got a 3070 Ti, a 5900X, just 16 gigs of RAM at 3600 Hertz, but the CL timing is actually a bit lower. It's actually at 14, and apparently having a lower CL timing maybe potentially be a bit better for playing Quake. So now we're getting into kind of the main bit of the main setup, and so what I've got here in front of me is a Asus PG259QNR. The R version is not necessarily that necessary as far as I know, but definitely having a 360 Hz with G-Sync is actually really important, because it means that even if your frames are not getting that high, you know, that G-Sync will kind of kick in and get you that smoothness. So I think this mono is really important. I'll be honest, the stand though kind of gives me this shit sometimes, but we manage with that. As for the keyboard, I'm running a Logitech Pro X with red switches. I like the red ones a bit better because the smoothness of the keys and just kind of like, yeah, just playing through, I think it feels a bit nicer to press, especially when you're like pressing it all the time. I know with blues and browns, I wouldn't really recommend blues, but browns can also be something with a bit more force, but reds are just nice because, again, you'll be pressing the same keys over and over. It actually gets exhausting. Alright, so continuing on here, we've got two Logitech Superlights here. I really like this mouse, actually. I was using before a Zowie EC3, but I've actually changed to this mainly because of, well, two reasons. One, the wireless is actually like a really nice thing to have, especially because I don't have too much room at the back here. And the second is actually like the shape and just how the mouse feels. Well, before, the Zowie mouse was like an ergonomic, and sometimes it didn't feel so... You had more control, but less. It was less precise in some ways. So now that I have a symmetrical mouse, actually it feels a lot nicer for me in terms of like how I've actually gripped it, and also when I'm like shooting in game, sometimes I was a bit limited by the ergonomic mouse, but now it does feel quite good. Okay, to the right here, I've got the Elgato Streamdeck. This is like a nice feature to have. It's just easier to change scenes, but it's not necessarily such a big deal to have. And Gareth lovingly allowed me to borrow that too. Working over to this side now, over to the headset. I've got the Logitech Pro X as well. They're all called Pro X. And one of the things I really like about this headset is the blue mic attachment. The blue mic attachment actually makes it like the sound come through really nicely. And also kind of looks pretty cool too. And there's kind of an added option in the Logitech settings where you enable blue audio, and it comes out really good. Across over to my streaming PC now as well. I've got the Logitech StreamCam, which is 1080p at 60fps. It's actually really hard to get a webcam to be 60fps and 1080p, so that's come out really handy as well. And I've got another one too on my top left. I've got the one on the top left here also, which is recording my mouse and keyboard. Just kind of adds that extra effect on the stream. So now I'll give you a bit of an insight of what it looks like to actually stream with this setup. So go over here to the Stream Deck, just turn on Streamlabs, which will bring it up over here. And then nicely enough, I can quickly just change to another scene. So I'll quickly change to that one, and it does it for me. And so now if I actually had Quake up, what it would do was whatever information I sent from this PC through an NDI, it would send to the second monitor, and basically that's how at the moment I'm kind of streaming with, being able to get really high frames up to 360, while being able to have such assets like the 60 FPS webcams. Alright guys, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about the setup, leave it in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them afterwards. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.